Alright, so we're going to start it. Good morning / afternoon / whenever it is you're going to be listening or watching this. This is Snorkeling with Narwhals. I'm your host, Brian McKay, and for the first time ever, which ever is three episodes, this is the third, we have a guest host. It is my good friend, Ronnie Cox.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Part of what we wanted
Yes.
to... Yes, that was my response. Part of what we wanted to do with this show was have guest hosts so it didn't get stale. Because, I mean, I think I'm pretty entertaining, but I can get boring, so...
Pretty quickly.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Ronnie's a harsh critic. He
I
watched
am.
our first video and he tore it apart. But,
I think I was the first one to watch it.
well, besides us, I think me and Eric, who is
No,
still
I actually
here,
saw it before you guys finished making it.
somehow.
Magically.
Magically. So yeah, what we're gonna do today is it's gonna be kind of different. It's basically it's more ad-libbed. It's not as structured as the past two have been. It's more basically just me and Ronnie talking about things that have happened in our
Well, yeah, let's
2 or
start
3
with
years.
I guess introduce me a little bit, but
Yes.
So the story of let's start with how we met.
Yeah. Well, it started.
So
This is what
3 years ago. Yeah.
I was a junior here at Barron.
Would have been
He
my
was a
first
freshman.
semester. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of just happened. Like there was no definitive time where we met.
No, it wasn't like we had two friends like, "Hi, I want you to meet my
Right.
friend." It was like it just kind of happened. Organic.
Right. What happened was we both kind of hung out with the same group of people, but just at separate times and in separate ways.
Yeah, mutual friends.
Right. And so that semester, our group of friends hung out kind of in the basement of the Reed building, which is our student union.
Right.
And what ended up happening was we just kind of met somehow through there, and we eventually just became friends. Less we were never super close friends.
No, and I mean, you're making it sound super lame, but it wasn't.
There was no awesome
It
story.
wasn't. There's no awesome story to it. We just kind of
That's
met.
for when
through-
Cody comes on the show.
Yeah, how we both met Cody was a very interesting story.
But that is a topic for another day.
Yes.
Shouldn't have even brought it up, but that is a topic for
But
another day.
we got close when you started working at the cart.
Yes, as I've mentioned before, I work at a food cart here at Barron. I
Right.
just sell coffee and bagels and donuts and stuff like that. And Ronnie had class in there, so he would come by.
Well, no, I had a class in the next building, and I would either be late to class, getting breakfast at the cart, or I'd be leaving class early and going to the cart because I hated that class. It was an 8 a.m. It was terrible.
Was it a freshman bio class?
It was a freshman bio as a sophomore or as a junior.
That sounds.
And it was
horrible.
just, and the professor was not very good. It was not a good. She was a boring professor at very early in the morning, and
We
you were
won't
much
say
more
who
entertaining.
it is for kindness, I guess.
We'll call her Shelley, the professor, Mrs. Shelley.
Mrs. Shelley. All right, Mrs. Shelley.
Mrs. Shelley was not a good professor.
But this all I think our friendship may or may not have been fully cemented the day that you came by and you weren't sure if you should go to class.
Oh yes.
And so we had a discussion.
I was running late for class.
Yeah.
And it was one of those days where it didn't really matter if I was at class, so I stopped to get breakfast.
Yeah.
And we started talking about whether or not I should end up going to class because if I'm so late already.
Right.
I might as well not go. And by the time we had finished discussing whether or not I should go to class,
We spent
which we had
half an hour.
We spent a half an hour talking about whether or not I should go to class, debating it. And we got to the point where I decided, yes, I should go to class. But then it had been a half an hour late. Class was almost over at that point.
So there was no
And then we
point.
decided not to go. So that was probably the first most interesting conversation we had. The first interesting conversation we had. Get rid of the word most. That doesn't need to be.
But that is far from the most interesting experience. I can't even talk about this without laughing. That is far from the most interesting topic that we ever discussed or the most interesting experience that we ever had.
Yeah.
This is something that has affectionately become known solely as the story, and so that's what we'll talk about next. So we're going to start kind of a new segment today. I don't know if this will just be recurring for when Ronnie comes on or if I'll use it on my own. I have no idea at this point. We'll figure that out as we go, as we tend to do. It is called Cart Talk, kind of a spoof. You came up with it of the NPR show.
Yeah, it was my idea.
Car Talk, because I work at a food cart. Get it? Get it? No, but the idea is basically just talking about stuff that happens at the cart that I work at, because for the most part, overall, it's a pretty boring cart. Like, not a lot actually happens there. But when things do happen at the cart, they can be ridiculously interesting and awkward and terrible at the same time. So,
yes,
we are going to tell you the story.
The great debacle.
I also, another name is the Great Relationship Fail of October 2015, because this all happened within 1 month.
Wait, so you're implying that there was more in 2015? There was other debacles with relationships?
No, this is the only one.
Okay, so just 2015. All right,
so how it started...
at the cart. It was at the cart.
Yeah. When I got this job, within like the first month that I worked here, a girl would come by the cart. She always got like the same thing, and we would just chat, nothing crazy, nothing special. She was really cute though, and so I was like kind of flirting with her. I didn't think anything would ever actually come of this.
And you got to understand that this is not the only cute girl that visits Brian at the
cart.
There are a lot of cute girls, but I mean...
Well, we're a campus that has very comparatively few like women as opposed to men, so
apparently they only actually accept the attractive ones, maybe?
Apparently, I don't know.
Or at least only the attractive ones come to see you.
Well, I'm just gorgeous, so that's probably part of what it is.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was, it was like over the month, like she would come, she would talk.
And we're going to use the name Raquel. to refer to her. So Raquel.
Because Ronnie could not remember what her name was.
I could never remember her name.
With Raquel, so that's a good pseudonym we're gonna use. What ended up happening in October, like early October, she came by, and I didn't notice this until the next day. She had left her phone number on one of it was actually my cutting board where I keep my breakfast sandwiches, and it was under the tarp, so I never noticed it until the next day. Eric is moving something which I probably shouldn't have pointed out, but I started laughing at the camera. No, so she left her number.
Like how you got super serious. Yeah. You started thinking about this, and it's been a while now. It's been 5 months now?
I think it was 5 months from the day that a certain event took place, which we'll get to.
Okay. So it's the rest of it's been 5 months.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so
it's funny now. We're losing this entire train of thought. She left her phone number, and then she came by. We talked. I think I told you this before.
Right. Yeah.
Anything had really happened, and so we were talking, and then we just started texting. We may or may not have kissed that day. Which I think that's the first time I've ever revealed that to most people that would be watching this. But then I was like, this was a bad idea. I didn't think this through.
Well, the entire time you kept asking me for advice because not only have I been in a lot of different relationships, but I've also at the same time was also entering into a relationship.
Yeah.
So
we were 2 relationships.
Yeah, we were at the same time both meeting girls, and we were both talking about it, and we'd get together and we'd gossip with each other, and we'd do that. We'd do that's just like that. And you kept asking me, and I was like. So and I met her. You introduced me to her, and it just didn't seem.
It seemed normal for.
No,
you didn't think it seemed normal.
No, she was weird.
Okay.
She was very, very strange.
Well, and for a week, I tried to not do anything with this because I'm very particular about who I'm in a relationship with, which is probably why it never happens.
Yeah, but at the same time, every time I tell you, hey, you should probably not go into this, you kept going into it.
Yeah, which is a terrible thing to do. I'm horrible.
If a friend gives you relationship advice, listen to him or her.
So I fought this for a week, and then eventually we started dating, which lasted approximately 4 days.
4 full days?
4 full days. They were great. Wonderful times.
Really?
No, they were okay.
Ouch. Okay.
Which we went to a movie here at Barron.
Oh yeah, that was the movie that I was supposed to meet him.
Ronnie and his girlfriend were supposed to be at this movie.
I was supposed to go to the movie, and about 45 minutes before I was supposed to meet him at the movie, I decided I didn't want to go. And so we just totally ditched him.
Yeah, but
Totally
your
ditched
reasoning
him.
was that your girlfriend was sick. Which was
I didn't
not
want.
true.
I mean, no, she was sick. She had a bad cold.
Okay.
She was not feeling good. She didn't want to go, but I just didn't want to go see that. Like I didn't want. It was you get.
Inside Out's a fantastic movie.
I still
will
haven't seen
fight
Inside
you.
Out.
Well, anyway, the next day I found out that Raquel already had a boyfriend and had failed to tell me this. Now, there were some signs that I probably should have noticed.
There were
but
several. Dozen.
It's one of those. One, I was rationalizing, I'm sure, and two, that like you don't assume this about someone.
No.
Like that's that you don't go into that like unless you have like hard evidence that this is going on.
Right.
So it exploded on, I think it was October 24th, which today is the 5-month anniversary. We were filming on March 24th. I don't know when this will be posted, so that's why I mentioned it. But that's the story. I have not.
Dated the video.
Yeah, I know. I have not seen her since then.
I have.
Yeah, you told me you saw her. So we both agreed that she should probably not come by the cart for the foreseeable future.
Wait, she was banned for you.
It was a mutual banishment.
You told her not to come back.
Yeah, well, I think there's no way it wouldn't be awkward.
Well, and you're the only person who works at the cart.
Yeah,
so
it's not like she, that's probably bad business-wise. I just, banished a customer. But, I mean, in all honesty, there's no way it wouldn't have been weird.
Right. It wouldn't have been very good. And she can go to other places on campus
Right.
to get food.
Eventually, I don't know, maybe at some point I'll see her again and we can actually discuss this and, at least, I don't know.
I don't really how do you rationalize?
How do you just
I'm just sorry. I had such a stressful couple weeks. I had totally forgot about my boyfriend. How do you?
It
I mean,
blew up.
where do you How do you fix that?
It was, as I actually refer to it as spontaneous combustion of a relationship. I don't know if it was even really a relationship or if you can call it that.
The facade came off of it, and you could kind of see just how
Ronnie and his girlfriend are still doing well.
we are still doing well.
So at least one of us,
Hi, Jamie. She's probably not going to watch this. I'll make her watch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, why wouldn't she be watching it? You're on it. So that's the story. My relationship life since then has gone back to how it was beforehand, which is non-existent.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. It's been
the optimistic way to look at it.
It's been a work in progress essentially for 22 years, minus 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What are we talking about next? I don't even remember. Movies, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about movies. That was a good awkward transition. That's the story.
That's the story. Now you have literally just put your most...
That's one of my deepest, darkest secrets.
To the whole internet.
It's not really a secret, though. I've told plenty of people.
Okay.
We are back. So Ronnie, after I divulged my weird story, you wanted to talk about how you met Jamie.
Yeah, well, we talked about how you met your Raquel.
I don't know
how to refer to it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, and I mentioned how at the same time I met my girlfriend now, and we were talking between segments, and it's actually a really great story as well.
He thinks so.
I think it's a good story.
It's not bad.
It's a cute story.
It's cute. I'll give him that.
It's cute. So this is very much contrasted.
Yeah.
Against what you just said.
It was a tale of two relationships.
Yeah. I was on a fall retreat with one of the groups I'm in on campus, and she was from another school who was also there. And in the first main session, we were sitting down to talk, and I walk in and I sit down, and I hear this voice behind me go, "Oh, great! Why do I always have to sit behind the tall guy?"
Wow, that is literally the beginning of a movie.
It literally, because the first thing she said to me was she insulted me. And I guess she didn't think she said it out loud. She didn't think I would hurt her. So I actually turned around and apologized. Because I'm quite a bit taller than most people. I'm not as tall as...
I don't think you're that tall.
I mean, I'm 6'2". I'm pretty tall.
Oh, I'm 5'9".
So I'm pretty tall. But so I apologized, and I saw her around a few times, and I saw her later that night. There was a dance, and then the next day we were out playing a game in the woods at the campground that we were at, and I actually was running. It was like a tag based game. I was running, and I tore something in my leg, and like hit the ground.
As I laugh.
You weren't there, unfortunately. You would have thought it was hilarious.
I would have laughed before I knew what happened.
Well, and that's what everybody did, because they thought that I had was faking, I was pulling a soccer leg to get out of getting tagged, and nobody believed me. Nobody believed me, and so I'm laying there literally just lying there in pain, and everybody just walks away, and Jamie comes over, and she's slightly concerned because she still thinks that I was faking it, but she wants to check.
You refer to this as she was Florence Nightingale.
Yeah, so she comes over and she's really nice to me, and I'm like, wow, she's so nice. Everybody else is being a jerk. And she gets some of my friends to come over. They bring my car, and they take me, and they give me some ice and stuff. And she's helping, taking care of me, and all my friends are around. And then there's this cute girl who none of my friends know. And everybody's kind of ignoring her because they don't know who she is.
Yeah.
But she's trying to help me, and she's bringing me she brought me some medicine and some ibuprofen. I actually went to the emergency room a couple days later. They had no idea what was wrong with me. One doctor said I pulled something, and the other one had said I had broke my arm. They were
your arm.
They were so far off base.
So this reminds me. Have you ever played the game Medal of Honor?
No.
All right, I remember the original one for the original PlayStation. This isn't really morbid, I don't think. If you would shoot, you could shoot someone in the leg, and they'd be like. So that's just what you made me think.
Well,
of
yeah,
that.
I mean, and the doctors were crazy about it, but she was really sweet, and she was really nice, and I'm like, wow, this girl's amazing. And I got to hang out with her a little bit more that weekend, and I taught her how to play poker, and she really could have cared less, but she was okay with it because I was there with her. And so she was being really sweet, and we actually went back to campus, and I ended up texting her and asked her to go out for coffee, and we got coffee, and we stayed up. I went over to her dorm, and we stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning watching Rhett and Link together.
Rhett and Link gets name dropped a lot on this
show. But yeah, and that was when we first really connected, and then we started dating that Saturday. So
it was almost synced up.
Yeah, we met in about a week, a little bit over a week after we met. We were dating, and we've been dating for 5 months. 5
months, yeah. Probably from almost today.
No, it was 17th.
Okay,
I think
a week.
Yeah,
plus.
17th. Sorry. Sorry if I'm wrong on that date, but I.
Yeah, you probably should not have admitted that on air if you weren't sure.
No, it's 17th. It's hard because there's so many of those days that happen right in a row.
Yeah,
that, October 14th
the 18th,
through
the 9th.
Yeah, everything happened boom, 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 right there in the middle of October. Your birthday.
He brought me a 12-pack of Mountain Dew Voltage for my birthday, and I wasn't sure if it was for my birthday, if it was a consolation thing.
If I was giving it to him to make him feel better about the
which
Raquel.
Mountain Dew does make me very happy.
That's not healthy.
It's not at all. I know that. I'm sure. I had a bottle of water here at some point.
You did?
I threw it out. I was done with it.
Oh. Okay.
It was flavored, but that's what I'm going for. So yeah, we're bad at transitions.
No, this is so awkward transition now.
So what should we mention for the ending?
The ending.
So what did we learn today? That's what it is.
So what did we learn?
All right.
So what have you learned? I guess we're going to talk about what we've learned. What did you learn about your experiences with Raquel?
Well, one.
There's more than one thing.
There's a lot I learned.
You learned a lot.
One, I should not just follow my gut emotion because
there's a lot more into relationships than just
thing.
Never trust your instincts.
Never trust
Never
your
trust
instincts. Never don't. People always say to listen to your heart. Your heart is deceitful above all things.
Listen to your heart, but
listen to your heart. I guess
take what it says with a grain of salt.
Yeah, don't just blindly follow your heart. That's not necessarily a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, which I never mentioned in during the story, if you hear Snow Patrol playing in your head while while this relationship is developing, you probably should back away. It's kind of like Jumanji when the drums start playing. Something bad is probably going to happen.
And listen to your friend's advice.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad advice, listen to it.
Well, Ronnie, what have you learned in your relationship story?
I learned how to have a good relationship.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, actually, if a girl's going to take care of you, she's a good girl.
Yeah, generally.
Not like good girl, but like she's a good
person.
Yeah, she's a good person. Date someone who's a good person.
That's
what I've learned. Date someone who's a good person.
Moral of this episode. Date someone who's a good person. Also, Ronnie is wrong about The Hobbit. No, but what did we learn from our movie fight? I guess we
go
can't
watch
use movie fight.
a different YouTube video about
Like
where
people
somebody
who
who actually knows what they're talking about. We have no idea what we're talking about with the movies. This is all our opinions / what other people have said that we're just repeating. So go watch somebody else's video and
try to figure out your opinion from that, I guess. Eric, have you learned anything from today?
No.
Not at all?
No?
Well, Ronnie, we have loved having you on this episode.
Have you?
However, we will have to see how it looks.
Is this a job interview and I didn't even know it?
Kind of. We'll have to see how it goes when we edit the video and how it looks. Conditionally, we will like to have you back next week.
We'll see. We'll see if I have the time for you. And for you.
See how it is.
Not you, the camera. I was pointing at the camera. The audience. Not talking to you.
So we're going to see how this edit turns out because, honestly, in a good way, this is like our most haphazard episode.
Yeah, but a lot of things have changed in this episode, so we'll just kind of wait and see how things play out.
It was really random, and I loved it. Also, I've said this in the behind the scenes. I'm just going to say it once for the camera. I'm getting a real Ryan Russillo vibe off of myself. So go look him up. He's on ESPN. He's phenomenal. But I guess that's it. So
all right.
Good morning, good afternoon, whenever it is you're going to be watching or
good
listening. Night. Good night. Have a good one.
Ow! That's so You're gonna break yourself.
You got that too, didn't you?
You got so upset about that. It was so,
well, obviously.
I saw it coming the whole time.
You should have told me that.
I did! The entire time, like, dude. Well, and it was part of it was that, like, and you were worried because you didn't feel like she was a Christian, and you are.
Right, that was important.
That was important to you, and that was a big part of it. Which, and I mean, and the biggest
that ended up not even being the biggest issue.
The reason that was an issue was because
I jumped into.
No, not even that, but you didn't have the same morals.
No.
So, and which played out to be the entire problem, is that for her it was okay to have two boyfriends.
Yeah.
So the thing that I mean, I kind of called it. I didn't call it, but I called it.
This should be like a separate clip that we release.
Is this being recorded?
Yeah, it is being recorded.
The whole time?
Yeah.